All right, Steeler offseason has obviously begun. There's been a lot of talk so far, but we'll see a little bit, maybe more action this. Because Le'Veon Bell remains the #1 topic. Kevin Colbert said so last week. Art Rooney II said so a couple of weeks ago. Paul Zeise, though, this is the beginning of the franchise tag window. It starts on Tuesday. It goes till March the 6th. From what you can tell, do you think he's going to get a multi-year deal before that, or do you think this is going to drag on a little bit more?
It sounds like it's going to drag out just a little bit more. I think he'll eventually get his multi-year deal, but it sounds like the Steelers have a certain number they want to pay him, and he has a little bit different idea of the number, and maybe they have to make either some more room for him or come to the conclusion that it's just not going to happen, and they'll just have to tag him. But I think it'll eventually get done.
I was surprised after doing a full week of radio this week and then just doing some Twitter polling and things like that, finding the fans' pulse on this, how many people don't want him signed to a long-term contract. Based on a poll that I did, only 35% of Steeler fans want him to get a long-term contract. The other 2/3 would either prefer to see him franchised or just walk away in free agency. I would ask some of those fans to go back in time a little bit and analyze this from the point of view of, well, what if he did sign this year? This offseason, what if he had signed? Would you be mad that he was under this contract? Especially since a lot of the distractions that came about from Lev this year were because he didn't have the contract done. The Jacksonville week stuff notwithstanding. I think the best move is to franchise him, but if you're giving me a choice between having him walk away or sign a long-term deal, I say a long-term deal because especially this year with a weak inside linebacker free agency class, I don't know how you better address the cap space for this season than you would for him on a long-term contract or even a franchise.
Well, the way you spend the money better is you go get a safety and an inside linebacker that can actually play.
How much do you want to pay for these average inside linebackers who are free agents?
You'll have a lot of money if you don't, pony up to Le'Veon Bell and his demands, plus Mike Mitchell. You could probably save a lot of money there and use it once.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point, is that you're going to be able to save enough money when you restructure everybody. You can get him on 14.5 for the franchise tag and still get the guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tim. I'm not guaranteeing. He's saying that he might not even sign for $30 million guaranteed. Take a hike. I mean, seriously, this is a guy that can't even show up to work on time the day before the biggest game, and they don't even trust him in short yardage situations. And now I'm going to pay him double what the second highest paid running back is worth? No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's the key to me is you look at what LaShawn McCoy makes. Is Le'Veon Bell $6 million or $7 million better than him?
Paul,
no,
they did not give him the ball in short yardage ever this year.
I think he's a really good player. I would actually go the route of franchising him, but I'd use the non-exclusive tag. And if someone wants to give me 2 first-round picks for it, I'll take it any day of the week.
And do what, Paul? Start Matakevich and Vince Williams at inside linebacker?
I'm saying if someone else signs him and I get the 2 first-round picks.
Andrew, who do you think is the best inside linebacker free agent-wise right now? The guy from Tennessee?
I mean, maybe Cushing, who just got cut today.
I mean, well, what do you want to pay him?
I don't know, $4 or $5 million?
Okay, $4 or $5 million. You can't do that?
I can get Navarro Bowman for $5, $6 million. The guy was great against the run.
You offered Dante Hightower $8.5 million after you paid him $12 last year. You've already freed up $11 million. You can restructure Ben. You can restructure AB.
Yeah, but it doesn't stop there, though, Tim.
Yeah, but if you're going to pay $5 million to Le'Veon Bell, then you're going to have to do a whole lot more restructuring to get those guys.
For 1 year on the franchise, like you just said, Paul? I don't think so.
To get those guys that you're talking about, to me, I think, I agree with the franchise tag, but I agree with Andrew, too. I would not give the guy $35, $40 million.
I would also not overpay for some of the garbage that's out there inside linebacker-wise in the free agent market.
All right, but let's talk about now this defense. You guys have brought it up now, the needs, and there are plenty. But a few weeks ago, Art Rooney seemed to make it sound like, well, defense is tough to play in the NFL no matter who you are. That tune changed, though, last night at a Steelers Unite event where he pretty much said that we need to do better, especially against the run. Kevin Colbert concurred. They have changed a little bit there. So how much do you have to do in this defense here now, Andrew? I mean, you're only going to have so much that you have to deal with money-wise. Where would you start with your changes?
Inside linebacker, for starters. I think I've got one borderline starter there in Vince Williams, and I'm starting to wonder if his effectiveness was tied to Ryan Shazier being on the field. I mean, all signs point in the direction of Mitchell not being able to play anymore. And I've got a lame duck outside linebacker. I don't think Bud Dupree is good enough to start in this league. So as far as I'm concerned, you've got to find three starters on defense this offseason.
Yeah, and I don't think you find that regardless of whether or not you pay Le'Veon Bell. That's too much money. But I think you're right. And I do think that the front seven needs to be addressed. You can talk to me all you want about that I think, inflated sack total that they had this year. I didn't find consistent enough pass pressure in big games and big game situations for me to feel real comfortable, particularly because I don't think they know what they want to do with their outside linebackers. Are they drop guys? Are they pass rush guys? Sure, you got to do a little bit of both, but I think they are lost with the personnel that they have and what they're asking them to do, particularly at the outside linebacker position. And if they're not rushing, are Tuitt and Hayward skilled enough to consistently get at the quarterback without pass rushing from the outside linebackers?
Yeah, and I think that's the key. To me, it still comes down to the inside linebackers position. You've got to figure out a way to address that first, because we saw when Ryan Shazier went down, what the trouble that they had at all three levels on the defense, just not having one guy in there. But you've got to figure out exactly what you're going to do with the outside linebackers. You've got to get a safety. And I would even say, if you can, maybe in the draft, you've got to get another corner, because I'm not sure that Artie Burns is good enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. You should have seen more progress so far, and you can never have enough of those guys, as we've seen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to go round the horn for this week's Smooth Moves, presented to you by Armina Stone. And they are the largest supplier of smoothest granite, marble, quartz countertops you were going to find. It's Armina Stone. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Smooth Moves, beginning with Andrew Fillipponi, top to bottom.
Well, I'm just going to go off of this hockey weekend and say Jim Rutherford. Look at the trades he's made in season. The Sheehan deal looked like it was a flop, and now he's looking like a pretty good third-line center. And Alexiak, you acquired him for a song, and he looks like an up-and-coming talent.
Bob, since the last time I was here, I saw the movie I, Tonya. So I'm going to go with Allison Janney and Paul Walter Hauser, who played Sean Eckhart impeccably. I know everybody's talking about Margot Robbie with Tonya
and for good
Harding.
reason.
How could you not? But those two stole the show, so those two get my smooth move.
My smooth move is real simple. David Freese. I mean, maybe it was only because he was the first guy to get down there to actually start talking, but David Freese putting the Pirates on blast, I thought was tremendous.
And those are the Smooth Moves of the week, presented by Armina Stone. It is Pittsburgh's largest supplier of granite and marble countertops, imported from all over the world to give you the smoothest countertops in the area. Score a touchdown with a new granite countertop from Armina Stone. Penguins talk next.